You're still watching the marketplace on Joy News. Now, government task force on retail trade has given the strongest indication of closing down shops of foreign retailers that have not regularized their status after the grace period. This was contained in a statement from the Trade Ministry as it announces resumption of the committee's work from next Monday. Joining me via Zoom for a discussion is the Center Coordinator of CART International, a policy advocacy group, Apia Kusi Domaku. Thanks so much for joining me, Mr. Apia. Mr. Apia, kindly unmute your audio.
Okay, thank you very much, and your happy viewers.
All right, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Now, the task forces will begin operations on Monday. Is this the best strategy to end the age-old trade war? 25 years, it's been long.
Yes, I think it's time to review our trade laws in conformity with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Well, Mr. Pia, before we come to the review, I'm asking you, the task force is supposed to regularize people from Monday. I'm asking if that is the best strategy to end the trade war that has lingered for 25 years.
Yes, I think for a start, we'll take it as a moderate step in doing so. But I think there is more to it that needs to be done in terms of regularizing foreigners who are trading in Ghana here.
I'm confused as to what they mean by regularizing people. We know that the law requires that foreigners invest at least $1 million in the retail market, and they should also be able to employ about 20 people. So that law is already there. Before we come to whether we should review it or not, what exactly will be or will a regularization mean for foreign retailers?
Okay. You know, that blanket minimum capital requirement for foreigners who want to come and do business here, I think it doesn't help, because there are some sectors that someone doesn't need the stated capital of 500,000 cedis to enter into the market. And so I think they are going to look at case by case and then allow people to trade. And I also know that the GIPC law is also under review. That would also take into consideration some of these differentials in terms of the capital limit for foreigners who are doing business in the country.
Okay, so back to what you wanted to speak about earlier, with the coming in of the Continental Free Trade Agreement, which is supposed to take off next year. Yes, we've had a clash with the domestic laws, i.e. the ECOWAS laws, and then also we have that of the Continental Free Trade coming in. Is it about time you think that we review Ghana's retail law to suit the Continental Free Trade laws and also that of ECOWAS?
Yes, I think it's a belated thing that we've not done over the years. Even the ECOWAS protocol allows for citizens of member states to be able to move and transact businesses within the community. And now we've all signed the AFCFTA, that is the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. That also goes further to reinforce the ECOWAS agreement. So I'm very optimistic that the GIPC law will be revised, and I'm told that I had a chat with Mr. Grant, and he told us that they are working on it to revise it in conformity with the African Union AFCFTA to allow to take away that kind of the minimum capital restriction, and also for closing foreigners in entering into our retail sector.
Okay, so before we have that review, we know and we've seen what is happening in the retail market. Every now and then, people are taking the laws into their own hands by closing shops of foreigners. Before we have that review, what should be the approach of the task force that is being put together by the Trade Ministry to deal with the current situation on the retail market?
I think the task force needs to have a well-defined blueprint to avoid discretionary in terms of pick and choose who is allowed to stay and do business at the retail market. So the criteria need to be spelled out clearly so that the task force, and also one thing is that for me as a person, I don't have even a problem with foreigners doing business in Ghana so long as they pay their taxes. And I think that it is our own Gov't traders who have problems with the foreigners. And I think a study that we did that, I mean, the foreigners are doing well, and I don't see why. But I think that we cannot please Gov't at this time. I think that we must please the law that Ghana has signed at the continental level. And so whatever the task force does must ensure that it goes on to reinforce the AFCFTA agreement that Ghana is a signatory to. And again, Ghana is also hosting the secretariat.
It's a pleasure speaking to you this afternoon, Mr. Apiakwesi Adomaku. As always, we are grateful for your input and your time.